I will say, going over some very, very bumpy road just now, a bunch of potholes, very smooth. Very, very smooth. I might even say smoother than my Model S. Oh, it's this white one. Okay, I'm about to drive the brand new Tesla Model 3. Let's see if we can pop the trunk for all my junk. All right, looks sharp. Trunk space is obviously smaller than my Model S, but it is a smaller car. Okay. Oh, that's sleek.
So the key goes into where you would charge your phone on the left side.
Key goes into where you would charge your phone. Okay.
There's no stalks here.
No stalks at all.
Turn signals here.
Uh-huh.
And then if you push your foot on the brake, it will activate the car.
All right, so she's on. So these are the turn signals here. There's no turn signal stocks. All right, first impressions. Let's go out a little bit on the 0.5 zoom. So check this out. The interior is super sleek, very minimalist, even more minimalist than Tesla has been going for in the past. I don't know if you heard the sales guy, but he basically said there's no turn signal stocks at all. So they're trying to eliminate literally every little button stock and everything that they can. Thank you, sir. So you said no turn signal stocks.
Yeah, so you would just push the button.
So it's these guys.
And then
there it is.
Yep.
Okay, and then how do you undo it?
Push it again.
Oh, the same
so
one.
If you do like half a turn, it doesn't trigger it off. Push it again.
Oh, so if you turn, it should be able to trigger it off automatically.
Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah.
And then if not, you just like a motorcycle, you just turn it off.
Yeah, push it kind of harder, yeah.
Okay.
It should turn itself off once it does that certain angle rotation, like a regular signal.
Yeah. How do I turn the windshield wipers on? Just this guy?
You tap once, activates this. Right now it's on auto, so you should be okay. If you need to make it like a level 1, 2, or 3, tap it once and then you just push the level you want.
So it's all on the screen still.
Yeah,
push it once and then
okay.
And then are your voice commands, and then that's really it. That's all you need to drive.
And then over here you slide up for drive, slide down for reverse, and then push to park.
Oh, there's not even a little stock for that. Yep. Okay, so forward for drive, back for reverse, push for park. That's easy. All right. So obviously this is not my car. I'm going to be very careful with it. As you can tell, it's snowing. And also just generally creature comforts and just how this whole new minimalist design with no stocks for anything, even the turn signals or even anything. Even like drive, there's no little stock for that anymore. Putting it in drive, putting it in reverse, none of that. It's all right here. So as you can see, if I want to go in reverse, there I am. And then the backup camera pops up. If I want to go forward, there it goes. Now it's ready to drive. If I want to go in park, I just hold it and now she's in park. All right, so that's how that looks. So let's check that one more time just really quickly. So we have slide for reverse, the backup camera and both of the side cameras come on, just so you see what's behind you, and also of course the radar, and then slide forward for drive. Now we're ready to go and drive. And then it says, yeah, press to drive, the gas pedal, that's that one on the right. Thank you, Tesla. And then of course there's a tap for park, and now we're in park. So I'm gonna take off, we're gonna go and drive, and I'll talk to you guys after this little drive is over, and I'll let you know what I think. And actually, before we take off, let's adjust the climate control because this is a bit too warm for me. So let's make it 63. And as you can see, it's very modern. It shows you the whole car. It's kind of cool. A little more modern than my old Model S. So it's got the heated steering wheel on. I'm going to turn that off. And then we can turn the seats onto 3, 2, or 1 for heat. And I don't think this one has cooled seats. So yeah, no heated seats for me. And then of course there's a heated steering wheel, which I also don't want because I'm actually quite warm. The reason I activated this is I actually want the back window to get some defrost. So I'm actually trying to figure out how to do that. Hey, look at that. It's self-explanatory right there. I'm going to do the back window defrost. And then of course you got your passenger seat, heated seats, and temperature and all that good stuff. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys that, and we're going to get moving.
Now turn left onto Mayfield Road.
All right, so how does it drive? It's pretty smooth. You know, it's pretty quiet. The motors, the drive units are pretty quiet. Compared to my 2016 Model S, I'd say it's probably a little noisier, a little bit, I would just say just lighter. You know, it's a lighter car, it's a smaller car, it's not as luxurious of a car. This is more of like a utilitarian, I wouldn't say an economy car, but it's definitely not trying to be a Model S. So everything just feels like you feel every bump a little more. The car feels just more kind of light.
In 500 feet, your destination will be on the right.
Not quite as heavy. All the materials just feel a little bit more plasticky, a little cheaper than the Model S, which I've actually always said for a luxury car actually feels really plasticky and cheap. So beyond that, this one feels even more plasticky and cheap. I will say, going over some very, very bumpy road just now, a bunch of potholes, very smooth. Very, very smooth. I might even say smoother than my Model S, at least the 2016. I don't know how the new Model S's are, but that was very, very smooth, very impressive how smooth it just went over those potholes. So I'm very impressed with that. One thing that I'm still not quite used to is these turn signal stalks, or that are yet lack thereof, having to press a button for a turn signal. One, they're kind of hard to push, so I could see that being annoying on a day-to-day basis. Two, as you may have seen previously, I wasn't commenting on it, but as you may have seen previously, I was actually in a turning lane and I put on my turn signal, and then basically as soon as I straightened out the car and got into the lane, it turned off the turn signal, so I had to re-engage it, which is kind of annoying. I could see that getting annoying on a day-to-day basis. So that's just one thing. I get it. I see what they're trying to do. I understand the whole minimalist thing, you know, trying to do as few buttons and stocks and everything as possible, but that one's just kind of annoying, and I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but I think a turn signal stock is just not the worst thing in the world, and I would rather have it than not have it. But anyway, that's kind of the only thing so far from driving it. It handles well. It's quick, like any Tesla. It's definitely very responsive, very quick, very torquey. It's very, very smooth, like I just mentioned, going over those big potholes. It's very, very smooth, very quiet, very responsive. Everything just feels very well built. It's a well built car, like any other Tesla. Okay, so impressions about the interior. Like I said before, very minimalist. That's what they're really going for with Tesla. They completely removed the turn signal stocks. Now you got these buttons. So you initiate the turn signal by pushing the button, and then you also turn it off by pushing the same button. There's no more turn signal stock. There's no more putting it in drive or reverse with a turn signal stock. That's gone too. What you actually have to do is put your foot on the brake, and then this little thing will come up where you get to pull back for reverse. And then of course the reverse camera comes on and you push it forward for drive. And of course you just push the button for park, tap for park. Very, very simple. I can't really see that being too annoying. I guess the only time I can see that being a little bit annoying is if you're trying to do things quickly, like you're trying to pull out of a spot really quick and then, you know, get into drive really quick again and take off forward. You know, you might have to kind of do a little bit of learning with kind of looking at the screen, or at least knowing where the buttons are on the screen to feel for it. That's about the only thing that I could see being a little bit annoying about this. It's right next to you. It's really not a big deal. The only thing is you don't have that like haptic, that very just physical button to push, or that stock to push down. You have to kind of contend yourself with the screen, which I think is fine. You know, it's a little bit annoying to me, but it's, like I said, if you live with it for even like a few hours, you'll probably get used to it. So I'm not worried about that. What else we got? So very minimalist, very clean looking interior. Obviously my basis for comparison is my Model S, which has, you know, the two-tone, the leather, and then the wood, and then the Alcantara and all that stuff. So this one doesn't have that. It just has this, I'm not really sure what you would call it. It's almost like a Harman Kardon speaker type material. It's this kind of like, I don't even know what you would call it. It's almost denim-y. It looks kind of like denim. It feels a little bit like denim, but that's kind of what it looks like. There's this whole thing here for the climate control. All of your AC and all of your heat comes out of here. It's very smooth. It's pretty quiet. What else? There's really not much more to say. It's a very minimalist interior. I honestly don't really have much to comment on. The seats are okay. There's really good bolstering. You feel very secure. There's a lot of adjusting. There's all the standard ways to adjust the seats. As with every Tesla, this headrest is abysmal. It's terrible. It feels like it's trying to push your head down. I don't know why they want to do that. I don't know why they designed the seats this way, but there's a lot of third-party manufacturers that make a pillow, like a neck pillow, for the seat, and that adds a ton of comfort to these kinds of seats. So honestly, I'm not really sure why they did this with the headrest. I don't know if it's like more universal. It could fit more like sizes of people, but me at 6'2", 200 pounds, I'm not comfortable with this headrest at all. But like I said, very easily fixable with a neck pillow. There's more of that gray denim type material on the doors. So you can see they just kind of went with a gray and black interior in this demo model here of the brand new Model 3. And let's actually go into the back seat so I can show you the screen. But before we do that really quickly, let's just show you the roof. If you could see that, that's pretty cool. It's a whole glass roof with just one little crossbar right there. And one thing that Tesla does that I really, really appreciate, I'm not sure if most new cars do this, but I know most older cars don't, is even the back seats get these little airplane style reader lights, which I actually really appreciate in my Model S. So I think they're pretty fantastic. And so let's actually get out. So to get out, by the way, here's your window controls, very standard, auto down, auto up. You know, they don't feel the need to tell you that it's all auto. They just kind of assume it's something every car should have. So sure enough, it's just what they do. And then to get out, there's no handle. Again, it's just a button. Everything in here is about buttons. So you push the button, you push the door, and you get out. And you don't forget your key. Oh, getting out of the Model 3, let's take a quick look at the exterior, and then we will get into it and take a look at the back seats. Just a quick walk around the new Model 3. Obviously, it's a little covered in snow. You can't see the headlights quite as well as you would if they were not covered in snow, but you can get a pretty basic idea of what this car looks like. There's those Aero wheels. I think it looks pretty sharp in this black and white combination, the white car with the black rims. Sorry about the noise there. I'm at a college, and sure enough, there's a maintenance worker. She's doing her job. I'm just BSing around, so I think we can excuse a little bit of noise, but so there's what the car looks like. Obviously, it's got the LED tail lights, which is why it's flickering, probably because of the frames per second on the camera on the iPhone. But that's what the tail lights look like. I think it looks sleek. I think it looks really sharp. Gotta be honest with you guys. I like how this one looks more than the old Model 3s. I think they did a fantastic job. What do you guys think? There it is with the lights off. Another little look, a few different angles. Okay, so let's get into the back seat. Of course, here's these goofy Model 3 doors, which I've never been a fan of, but just in case you guys ever have to get into a Model 3 and it's your first time, pretty freaking simple. I'm not a fan of it, again, but you just push here and you pull. That's all you do. And then, as a 6'2", 200 pounder, trying to get in behind myself inside the Model 3 is obviously no fun. This is, if I was driving behind myself, if I was a passenger with somebody my size as the driver, this is what I would have to deal with. All right, now of course I could put my knee on that side of the seat. That's a little more comfortable, but still, as you can see, I'm pretty cramped in here. It is an economy car. Or, okay, it's not an economy car. It's technically like an entry-level luxury car, but it's the size of an economy car. You know what I mean? It's a small car. Okay, so screens. So what's kind of new here, I'm not sure if the more recent older Model S's or Model 3s had this, but there is a screen here for the back seat. And as you can see, it's mostly just climate controls. There's games back here, there's media back here. You can control, of course, your heated seats back here if the car has them. And it looks like this one does actually, which is cool. My Model S does not have heated back seats, so I definitely appreciate that. Of course, you can control you can just turn off the climate control completely. You can turn it on face, feet, probably both. What else we got? Seat control or heated seat is still on. Oh, I can actually move. That's cool. Check this out. I can actually move the passenger front seat from the back. That's a pretty cool feature. That's really useful. If you happen to be a kid sitting back here and your mom's annoying you, you can just kind of move her forward and just tell her to stop it, or you won't stop it. Okay, kids, don't do that. Listen to your mother. But the point is, that's kind of a cool feature. What's kind of a good thing safety-wise is you can't control the driver's seat. You can only control the front passenger seat, which, like I said, I definitely appreciate. I'm not feeling this heated seat quite yet, so I don't know what's taking so long. There's also games, as you can see here, a whole bunch of them. Vampire Survivors, Cat Quest, cute. Chess. Okay, if I was back here, I'd probably just be playing chess all the time. But anyway, I think that's pretty cool. Having some media and also being able to control your climate control from the back seat. So I do appreciate that. What else? We've got that same material on all the interior doors. We have our auto down, auto up, of course, window control. We have our button to get out. You have to keep holding it. You can't just press it once. Anyway, feels pretty solid. You know, old car reviewers, I remember back in the day when doors were really heavy, before cars started getting lighter, they would tell you it just feels like a solid click when you close the door. I feel that with this one. I feel like it's solid. I don't know if that means the door itself is heavier. I don't know if that means it's just built well and it just locks in solidly, but it feels nice to close this door, and I do appreciate that. Another little pic of the glass roof. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about this car. Any questions you might have for me as someone who just drove it. And I'm going to spend the next few minutes trying to get out of this car without pulling my back or pulling a hamstring. Oh, too late. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. I think we're going to make it. See? Solid. Okay, so probably my biggest critique of the new Tesla Model 3 is the same critique I had of the old Tesla Model 3, and that's that you have to look all the way over here to check your speed. There's nothing in front of you. There's no heads-up display. There's no display right here. You don't get your speed. You don't get your turn signals. You don't get any information right in front of you. You can't just look down slightly while you're driving, mainly keeping your eyes on the road. You have to look down and to the right. Now, I know that seems like a very, very small adjustment and that it's something that you can get used to, and it is something that you can get used to, and it's even, I would say it's almost as safe. I wouldn't say it's just as safe, but it's almost as safe as simply looking down. Now, try that for me though. Do the experiment and try it for me. Maybe don't do it while you're driving, maybe do it while you're sitting down, but get in your car, look straight ahead at the car in front of you or whatever is in front of you, and then just look down very, very slightly so you can see where the speed usually would be in a normal car, okay? Then do the same experiment looking just a tiny bit further and also to the right. It is a noticeable difference. If you are aware of what your body's doing, if you're in tune with your body and how your muscles and your eyes feel and everything and the effort that it takes even to make that minor movement, it does take more effort and it does take that extra millisecond longer to look down and to the right and a little bit further over than simply just to point your eyes or your head just a tiny bit down. Okay, it does make a difference. I do not like that you have to adjust all the way over here. And another thing is, even if you do totally adjust to it and it makes no difference for you, when you get into a different car, you're gonna have to adjust all over again. So personally, I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of these turn signals, and I'm not a fan of the whole down and to the right thing. I would rather just simply look down in order to get my speedo. Okay, so that's one thing I'm not a big fan of. See if I can get around this guy here. Okay. All right, guys, test drive is over. Let me know what you guys think of this new Tesla Model 3 overall. Positives, definitely extremely smooth over speed bumps, or not over speed bumps, over potholes, over cracks in the road, over things like that. It's way smoother than I would have expected it to be. I'm very, very, very impressed with that. So that I'm very impressed with. What I'm not impressed with is these new buttons for the turn signals. I'm just not a big fan. I would probably get used to them and stop complaining about them, but I'm just not a big fan. And it's just too radical. It's too different from every other car. So then you get into a different car and suddenly like you just don't have that muscle memory. I really wish they would, you know, I like the minimalism. I like that it looks clean and feels clean in here, but I wish they would just leave the turn signal stock alone. This thing I could probably get used to, the whole putting it in park, putting it in drive on the screen. You know, that's fine. That's a very minor adjustment. But like this thing, the no turn signal stock, I just can't ever get used to that probably, and I won't ever like it. And then not having your speedo right in front of you, having to look all the way down and to the right. Those things I probably would not like. And that, I mean, if I do get another Tesla, it would be another Model S, or it would be a Model X, or obviously the Roadster, you know, whenever that comes out would be sweet. I'm probably never going to get the Cybertruck. But yeah, I would probably get another S or an X or maybe even a Roadster if I ever have the money for that, for just another toy. But would I ever get a Model 3? No. One, it's just too small for my lifestyle. Two, it's just too small for me as a big person. Three, I don't like this situation. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. See if you like the Model S or the Model 3, if you prefer the old Model 3 to the new Model 3, if you would prefer the Model S or the Model X or the Cybertruck or something else, or a non-Tesla entirely to this new Model 3. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.